Even if it's a private event?
Even if it's a private event.
Not to take that?
No, I would recommend not taking it because it raises question. Is it a violation? Maybe not. Is it? Because the fact sheet itself, I don't believe is a violation.
So people running for office shouldn't have any, like pamphlets or anything for...
If a private party rents the space and that is the expectations they set, it's acceptable.
Now, when he says rent the space, that means an employee of River Oaks cannot go rent it and get our discount. Is that correct?
It may not be rented at a discount.
So it'd have to be somebody
Nothing totally private, like a
that
stranger.
they're gonna pay full price and not get our
Pay full
discount.
price, I understand that.
Correct.
And I understanding you correctly because, like, I've already had, I think this is where you were going. So if a resident comes and asks one of us, what is this whole thing? I think, am I able to give my opinion to this person, what I think that should happen or what my opinion is?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So long as, in doing that, you're not accepting public funds. Most likely, you're not, right? But be mindful, right? Be mindful because if I think that the way it gets gray and the way we really safe is, someone says, hey, I'd really like to talk with you about this. Okay, let's sit down at City Hall when I'm up there.
Oh, yeah, no.
It seems like a silly technicality, and yet those are the things we want to be careful about so there's no question.
Okay.
Well, see, because
Nobody can allege.
it was brought to us that we can't tell somebody how to vote.
Right.
We can't say,
So
we really need you to vote
We
for
can give
this.
our opinion on how we're...
But if I'm giving my opinion, I'm telling them how I vote.
Yeah,
We understand that.
So if I want to take, like this, for instance, one of our residents has asked me about it, we can go and have lunch at Grump's,
Yeah.
and we can talk about it, and I can answer her questions, and that, I'm not violating anything.
Just don't pay for the meal.
Just
Kidding.
kidding. Paying for the meal, no, I'm kidding. I mean, I think that's where he was going with that, like, we live in a small community.
Okay,
People are gonna
that's what
ask.
he's saying.
Almost certainly, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as nobody can argue that whatever you do is
Well,
somehow an expense of public funds. I'm not sure how they would do it, but,
That,
for maybe, well, yeah, I don't.
Tim Mill, some of the training we went through, maybe I misunderstood it. And my understanding is they didn't want us, as a council person, to try to influence somebody's vote on which way to vote. Same way with not putting stuff on social media. If something's coming up on the agenda, and you go on social media on your private page and say, I'm against this, or I'm for this, or whatever, and it hasn't been discussed, it's coming up on the agenda, and you're just telling everybody how you're gonna vote. But they said they wouldn't do that.
The agenda is different than the election, though, isn't it? If I'm having a council meeting and I want to vote on something, I shouldn't comment, but if it's an election item, well, I should be able to comment on it.
Okay,
Well, that's a gray area. I don't wanna know for sure that whether I can do this or not.
well, I do think that we're talking about different expectations, right? One's going to be covered by the election code, and one's going to be covered by the Open Meetings Act. So, and we are talking about different regulations in those two circumstances, but,
I mean, this issue has some presentation of facts that has to get out there, because there's two stories going around, and
Well,
the facts need to come out.
But no, Johnny. I know you're concerned about, I mean, if I'm understanding what you're saying, you're also concerned that people think we want to squash
Yes.
EDC.
No,
Okay,
that's
I think
going
that was
down.
made pretty clear, no matter what we do to advertise or not, there's still gonna be
Yeah.
someone say, oh, they're trying to kill it, they're trying to kill it. So there's just only a certain amount that we can do about that. But that's part of the
But if
fact
I-
sheet to me, is that it clearly states EDC will become a board, it will not be, dissolved, whatever you wanna use,
It
blah,
will be
blah.
funded.
So that's part of the facts. And what he's saying is, it can be here in the city, so I'm assuming they could pick up paper flyers if they came in here, or we can just only do it in the website. So, but we can't go out and distribute those things, because then we've expended, city funds
No, that I
to
understand.
market and advertise.
Yeah.
So, and then just use discretion. If so if someone comes up to me on the street or at my house or while I'm at Gross and they wanna know what it is, I can certainly tell them what it is. If they wanna know what I prefer, I can certainly tell them what I prefer. Summary? Accurate?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
The only thing, with no disrespect,
Bring it, Marvin.
it's really an election about reallocating sales tax, not that we're gonna get rid of,
Right, but that's what his concern is.
That's what's
is
going
that-
around.
Yeah, so that's just something, we just have to squash ourselves. And the fact sheet will help that, because when they see the facts about the fact that it is a board and it does have funding and it does all that, people are, you know, I mean, at that point,
And they
you
don't-
just have to,
They don't trust the city with the fund, they don't trust the city with the funds. That's
I'm just
what
afraid
they-
to make the
I know,
statement
but we
point
can't.
blank that you're not gonna do that, and then you come back later after the sales tax and decide that, because that's when the council can make that decision. Are we stepping ourselves out too far?
Well, I think what Marvin is saying is that the council always has discretion.
Yeah,
You can't, so even though this action doesn't dissolve the EDC, the council always has discretion, and so,
So you're saying that the election happened, we dissolved the sale, we changed the sales tax, and then we didn't create the board.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
well, the board will still be in existence, right? The actual corporation
No, I
will still exist after the election. So it would be an additional action the council has discretion to take.
Oh, okay. But
We
we
would
have
totally separate apart from the,
Yeah.
from
yeah,
the
I
election.
would have the discretion.
Just like you do in this very moment. You have that discretion, right? So, it's,
I'm just worried to not be careful with that kind of stuff.
I just don't wanna get
Yeah,
ourselves
like Dan, I don't wanna, you can't go tell somebody your opinion on how to vote, I can tell them how to vote.
those are generally the guidelines. Marvin and I have talked about it once or twice, but I've sent them, some guidance, and we can be available as you encounter specific circumstances, you have questions. Those, again, with it being so fact-specific,
Yeah.
probably individual conversations about, hey, let me talk about this, are most beneficial to help you feel comfortable that you're walking the line the best you can.
I don't feel uncomfortable about talking about it. I feel uncomfortable about getting myself or the city in some kind of legal issue because of it.
One and the same thing.
That's all I want.
Right.
So
I just wanna make sure that whatever we're doing, we're not setting ourselves up for.
And so if you didn't have time to read the letters from the lawyers describing everything that he just said, we do have it in writing, so you can go back and
Yeah,
refer to it.
I read it, I just wasn't
Okay.
understanding lawyer all
That's pretty
it sounded like the lawyer wrote
cut and
it.
dry. Pretty cut and dry.
Translated Mandarin. All right.
All right, let's
Okay.
go forward.
Next.
Have you got anything else, Marvin, before we move on?
No, I have nothing else.
We got 18 first.
Yeah, we gotta do 18. Discussion and or action on appointment to Economic Development Board to fill vacated place 7 citizens member. Marvin, what do you?
Okay, I got a text from the mayor.
Would it be better if he was here?
Well, yes, sir, but I'm just a little guy.
Well, I mean, when's EDC's next meeting?
Well, he's talking about his,
Second Monday of
yeah.
March.
Oh,
If you wanna wait till EDC, then that might be advisable.
Well, my question is, when we have these board vacancies, why don't we put it out to the public so the public knows about it? And
I do.
where is it?
I'll put it on the website. I'll put the application on. I hadn't lately, but.
Well, no, but who knew that if you didn't know Greg,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know some people wouldn't, even if they know him, they might not even know he's on the board.
Well, is there even a reason to appoint somebody so close to?
Well, he's only 2 or 3 months out anyway,
Yeah.
That's up to y'all, whatever y'all want to do.
Well, we talked about, was the last meeting or meeting before last, about putting someone on the park board that doesn't live in the city, but to me, we ought to at least, if we have an opening, put that out there that we have an opening, have people apply that want to. And then, I guess, I don't know what their